Hello again and welcome to Chaos Farm. I'm Tam Pemberton and today I wanted to show you some of the things which we've been doing over in the market garden area here on Camille's farm as part of Chaos Farm. So I just wanted to show you, if you can just pan out behind you, there's lots of activity that's going on behind me as well. So what we're doing here is we're preparing the soil ready for planting. We're incorporating a lot of organic matter and compost into the soil first. It's the most important part of everything that we do. Before we begin planting, all plants need organic matter. They need the nutrients to be able to survive, and also the organic matter helps to increase the drainage of this site massively as well, which is ever so important for the plants. Maximise the plant health. So today I wanted to show you what we've been doing with our peas. We have a lot of peas to plant. In fact, this is just one of the tubs. You can see we have a lot of peas, but we don't sow them all at once. We sow them in succession. That means we sow a few and then maybe wait a month, and then we sow some more, and so that we always have a continuous supply of nice fresh peas. So in true Blue Peter style, here is a raised bed area which we've already planted up with our first sowing of peas. This is Kelvedon Wonder. It's a good first early pea, and it's also is quite cold resistant. So it'll flower quite early and it'll put on pods of peas quite early, and it doesn't grow very tall, no taller than about sort of 45 centimetres. It does need a bit of support, and as you can see here, what we've done is after we've planted it, we've actually put these beautiful hazel branches which are really quite splayy, as you can see, and that just provides a little bit of support for the peas just as they're starting to put on their tendrils. The tendrils allow them to sort of grab hold of the little branches and pull themselves up and just get them off the soil level, which is really quite important. Obviously, we want them to be able to climb, get away from predators like slugs and that sort of thing. The other thing that the hazel sticks are really helping with is protection against things like birds, because they can't easily get in there and attack the peas and eat them. Although really the worst stage for that obviously is when they're seeds. That's when they really want them, just before they're about to sprout, because they really quite like pea sprouts. So yeah, I'd just like to show you really how we got to this stage. And really, when you're at home, you may think, oh, but I haven't got a raised bed like this, I haven't got a big field like this. But you could actually grow your peas very successfully in containers, and you can start them off in maybe smaller containers like that, and maybe if you had something, you could modify a bucket or something, put some holes in the bottom, and you could plant them at home in a nice sunny spot in a container like this. So I wanted to show you really what we do in order to get to this stage, so that you may like to try this at home. It's a really good time of year to sow your peas, and they're dead simple. And that's what I like. I like a plant that doesn't make things too complicated for me, to be honest. And peas, they do it for me on every level. I love peas. They're so sweet and they're so juicy, and they're just beautiful as well. They're beautiful plants. Did you know you can eat every single part? You can eat the tendrils, you can eat the leaves, you can eat every single part of this. Put it in a nice salad. You can eat the flowers. There's not much about a pea you can't eat. What's not to like? So let me start off with some of the peas which I've brought in from my own home, actually. I brought some pea pods which I dried last year. So this is called the yellow podded mange tout. As the name suggests, mange tout means eat all. You eat the whole thing. Or you keep it on the plant, and then you let the pea pod fully mature, let it dry on the plant until it forms this beautiful sort of crispy coating. And if I shake it, there's even a little rattle in there. Now this is a really satisfying part of the job. once you've harvested your pea and you've kept it nice and dry over winter, you can then come to spring. You can actually crack open the pea pod and you can sow them all over again. And this is one of the joys of working with peas and with things that grow, is that it's a perpetual cycle. And if we do all the right things and we look after our pea plants, they'll keep yielding for us year on year, right? So let me show you this. I'm just going to pop open this jacket. Can you hear that satisfying crunch? Isn't it great? I could do this all day long. It's just brilliant. How many peas are in there? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7. And they're all slightly different. Some of them got spots on and whatnot. And I'm just going to crack it open into my hand so you can see them. Oh, there goes one. Nearly lost it. There we are. Lovely. So all of these pea plants are planted together, and I'm going to sow these seeds together so that they keep each other company. Their roots like company, their flowers like company. Yeah, they don't really like a life in solitary. That's not what peas are about. So I'm going to just show you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to sow my peas into a pot. This is a sort of 1.5, 2 litre pot, something like that. I've got some compost here. Can you see me all right? I'm just going to fill up the pot with compost. Now you can use any multi-purpose compost for this. It doesn't have to be seed compost. And they're going to stay in this pot for a period of time whilst their roots mature, yeah? And then I'm just going to gently firm down with the back of my hand the compost in the top there. And now, with my 7 peas, I am now going to just arrange them into the pot. Not too close together, but not too far apart. And I'm going to arrange them in a little circle. Not forgetting, these are actually Mange 2. If you have a plant label at home, this would be the moment to put in your plant label, saying exactly what it is. This would be yellow podded Mange 2. Okay, and then remember, I've got a little watering device, and I would at this point use a little rose, something very, very gentle, just to water on the top. Now, the next thing is after maybe about a month, 6 weeks, you'll have a beautiful arrangement of peas just like this. You've just got to make sure that you don't let it dry out and that you keep it watered. I would normally transplant these just probably when they've got to about 3 inches tall. So these are a little bit too tall really to transplant. But I'm going to do it for you today anyway, just to show you what I do gently, okay, so that you know how to transplant carefully and without damaging the plant health, which is what it's all about. Don't forget, peas really don't like to have their roots disturbed too much. They like to keep together as a little family. So we're not going to be separating each pea plant and worrying about that. What we're going to do is we're just going to gently transplant them when they get to this stage into their final home, which is this container. Hello, it's nice to see you. You wondering what's going on? This is Boo, of course. Boris. Probably seen him 1,000 times before. So again, this is a really nice sized container for growing peas in. It's very big, and this will support the peas as they grow to maturity. What we did, of course, is we planted our seedlings when they got to this stage into raised beds. But if you don't have that space, a container like this is fine, absolutely fine. And what you can do is you can just fill it with compost right up to the top, firm it in gently. You can even use your foot, just a little bit, not too much. I'm not jumping on it, you understand. And then I know I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to put my peas in the middle of this container. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dig my hole in the middle of the container. And then I know that once it's out of the pot, it's going to be flush with the original soil level in there, yeah? And what I'm going to do is very gently, I've already watered these, by the way, and you must do the watering first before you transplant. And carefully squeeze the pot. I'm going to put one hand underneath like that, and then the other one I'm just going to gently put over the top. Can you see I wiggled it in there? I didn't go slap over the top. I didn't shove it in. I just gently wiggle it and just give the plants a little bit of leeway. I'm going to turn the whole thing upside down. You can see there's beautiful roots. Chuck the pot away, pot doesn't matter. And then you can just, with your hands, you can wear gloves if you like. I don't choose to. It's not for doing something like this. And just firm it in. Can you see? So, we are part way there now. They look happy as, I've got to say. Now I've collected some branches here of an old fuchsia. And I've just cut them so that they are nice, spread out. And I'm going to put them around the pea plant just to give them a little bit of support at this early stage. And now what I'm not doing is sticking the sticks right into the root ball. That would not be good. But I'm surrounding the peas with these sticks. Now you can use bamboo canes and string with an intricate pattern. I just happen to think that using these pea sticks is actually a really nice, natural way of supporting your peas. So they've now got something which they can then cling to on their way up. These ones will grow to about sort of 60 centimetres, something like that. Now, depending on which variety of pea that you've chosen to sow, you have to look carefully at what height they can grow to, because some of them aren't dwarfing. Some of them, they get really, really quite big, you know. So you want to make sure that you've got support all the way up to the top. In which case bamboo canes and string might be more appropriate for you, might just be more easily accessible. So, but this is how we do it at Chaos. We put a little bit of, you'll see these natural materials around, and that seems to work really, really well. So I've shown you how to harvest your peas. I've shown you how to sow them. I've shown you how to transplant. And I'm also going to show you what we've done here, obviously with these hazel sticks, is that we've put them all the way along this row here within this container. We're watering these peas now pretty much, well, every time we water, we come out here and making sure that they've received enough water. If it's dry and you're standing your peas outside, just make sure, especially in containers, that they have enough water in order to be able to sustain a good amount of growth. Interesting factoid, each one of these tendrils is in fact a modified leaf. So at one point, that's why I'm saying you can eat everything. And I have to say, they are totally delicious. Would you like to try some? You're more than welcome. Talking to the cameraman here, I'm going to take the top off. Really good. What do you reckon? Nice. He's got a thumbs up there, so that works. Delicious. Now, I mentioned that we have rather a lot of peas to sow. But the keen-eyed amongst you may spot that these are not just one variety of pea. The mice came in and they mixed up our pea varieties. They came into the house, they ate the packets. And so in here, we have mostly Kelvedon Wonder. But also we have the pea Ambassador, which are the small round ones. So you can tell the difference. Kelvedon Wonder, Ambassador. A bit more round, yes, would you say? sometimes the Kelvedon Wonder also come in these yellow forms as well. So we've been busy out here in the market garden. We've been sowing more Kelvedon Wonders and Ambassadors out there, right where Jess is. Yeah, we're going to show you, we're going to walk round and we're going to show you where we've sown an entire line of peas in our market garden, because obviously we're on a much bigger scale. So I want to show you what we've done. Come on round and we'll see what's been going on. Thank you. So you see here we have a lovely long line of kale. Here we have Bob working in the market garden here. He's developing a new area to sow more vegetables. Lovely line of beans here. How's it going, Bob?
Oh,
You were busy yesterday sowing some peas, I understand, along this row.
yeah, they've gone in there, yeah.
Would you like to, just for our, because obviously we've been doing stuff in containers and showing people how we sow peas in containers, but I understand there was a pattern that you planted those seeds as you were going along this line. Would you mind showing us how you laid out the peas for a big long line like that?
Okay, well,
I've got some peas here just as an example.
Sure. There was some soaked actually, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know where they were actually.
These are Fuji. All I did was, I was just doing them as a sort of pattern of 5, really. Like you do on the dice. Just like that, really. Probably, a bit more spacing maybe, but depends on your variety.
That's lovely, yeah.
How big they get. How much space you got? I mean, you were doing them quite dense in the pots, weren't you? So it's not hugely important, but I tried to fill this area. This is what we had to plant. So that was more or less. They were about 2 inches deep, roughly 3 inches apart. Probably might have been a bit more, might have been a bit less. I was here on my own and just trying to get them planted, really.
Brilliant. So this whole line is filled with peas.
Yeah, unfortunately they're mixed because of the mouse.
Yeah.
Did you hear the mouse story? Yes. So they're now mixed peas, not for want of mixed peas, but because that's what the mouse gave us.
Well done, Bob.
But they had a soak because the ground's so dry.
Yeah.
We decided to soak them before, partly because the ground's so dry and partly because we haven't quite got the manpower or the setup to be irrigating consistently. So hopefully, because we soaked them, they'll have a bit of moisture to start going.
Great. Oh, we look forward to them coming through. So that's great. Are you going to do any other support for them at all, or?
Yeah, we'll do P6 when they come up. Yeah. As and when they come up.
Excellent. And is there anything particularly pests we've got to worry about at this stage? That they might unfortunately succumb to.
The mouse and the birds at the germination stage would be the thing to worry about, which we also the rabbits. We have all 3, so it might be that when they first come up that we net them. The beans and kale that we've got netted over here was really just because sometimes birds are inclined to pull things out of the ground. So maybe we'd net them first, just make sure nothing nibbles on them. But we'll see. We'll see at that point. Maybe the fence will be finished and we don't have to worry about the rabbits.
Yeah.
But you can never.
The rabbit fencing is a really big addition because they can be a real menace, can't they?
Hi.
Yeah. Great. And what's going to go in this one? More peas or?
Probably carrots.
Excellent.
Got a few different varieties, 3 different varieties of carrot. Early season carrot, mid season carrot, late season carrot kind of thing. So yeah, the rest of this will be root. We're just doing root veg now. We could have done them earlier, but we're working with what we've got. Ground's quite dry again, so we're trying to get some compost into it. It's not completely bone dry, but it's certainly pretty tough.
So that's great. Oh, thank you so much for showing us what it is that you've been up to here. I think we're going to leave these guys. You can see Ness is busy incorporating the compost. The other team over there, they're sorting out a new chicken house. I understand it's very exciting. We think we may have a fertilised turkey egg already, which is very exciting. So we will have a place to put them. And obviously we are incubating more chicken eggs at the moment. So we just need more housing for everything, so that's all going on. So yeah, it's all action here on farm. Now if you'd like to, I think what we'll do now is we'll go back over to the plant sales area where I'll show you how we're going to be planting up our hanging baskets for sale. So we'll see you in a few moments.